This is a maimer from the Rebbe Marash.
Yeah.
It's a maimer called Kol Yisrael Yeshem Chelik Leilam Haba. A very interesting maimer. The Rebbe Marash asks that l'cha'ira we have a stiris, 3 stiris. Who's called a tzaddik? In one place it says Kol Yisrael Yeshem Chelik Leilam Haba. Every yid has a Chelik Leilam Haba because va'amich kulam tzaddikim. Every yid is a tzaddik, and therefore lo'elam yishar. Every yid is going to have a Chelik in Eilam Haba. On the other hand, it says the Eibishter saw tzaddikim shemu otin. They're very few. Amad v'shalsim l'chol devader. So the Eibishter put a few in every generation. That means it's very few tzaddikim. And then the third place is it says ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher yaseh tov v'yechta. There's not even one tzaddik yeshekech. So we have a contradiction. One place it says all the tzaddikim. Another place says there's no tzaddikim, and then there's a place that says there's a few tzaddikim. So the Rebbe Marash brings down, it's with the page Kuf Ayin, where it starts off Achlo Inyan, and the Zohar explains that there's different levels in tzaddik. There is a tzaddik, the basic level of a tzaddik, and then there's a level of a tzaddik, which is a much greater level of a tzaddik, and then there's even a higher level of a tzaddik. The basic level of a tzaddik is that a yid has a bris. So every yid has a bris. So every yid is a tzaddik. And then there's a very high level of a tzaddik, which only a few people are able to be on that level. And that we say there's a few tzaddikim. And then there is, he explains, a very interesting thing. He explains that there is to keep certain mitzvahs on every type of level, even on a very refined level. And on that we say there's not even one yid that's a tzaddik, or it's very uncommon maybe, Rebbe, but it's very uncommon to keep all the mitzvahs, even in the dakos. He gives an example. He says, for example, it says, Kol hakoyis ki'ilu eved avodah zarah. It's a very powerful word he says over here. I'll read it inside. The line starts with the word Kol hakoyis. The l'cha'ira Kol hakoyis ki'ilu eved kechavim mazolis. It's like 8 lines from the top. How could you say that someone who gets upset is like serving avodah zarah? Come on. Yeah, and you guys okay? Shalter explains. Yeah. Achoinu, but look what the Rebbe Marash says. She'ba'olam hayeser gavoya. In a ruchnistic world, master hakas k'mei iser avedis kechov mazolos be'elam hatachton. Whatever avodah zarah does in this physical world, kas accomplishes the same thing in the spiritual world. If it covers over on the Eibishter, kas covers over on the Eibishter in the spiritual world, like avodah zarah covers over in the physical world. It reminds me of the story with the Baal Shem Tov. That one Talmud told another Talmud that he's going to rip him up like a fish. And the Baal Shem Tov showed how in a ruchnistic level, he was ripping him up like a fish. So, meaning there isn't a physical world. In the physical world, you can't compare someone who says to someone who did. But in the ruchnistic world, someone who says something, it accomplishes it similar in a ruchnistic level. It's just maybe a mushroom. Here also he says in the ruchnistic level, when a person gets bekahas, okay, what the explanations are like Dr. Rebbe says in Tanya. That's the reason why. But in what you're accomplishing, you're accomplishing the same thing as avodah zarah. So he says to be clean from every type of aveda in such a manner that you don't have anything of that aveda, even in a ruchnistic level. That we say it's totally uncommon. That we say ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher yaseh tov v'yechta.
Ein means 0, right?
His lashon is ein motzi klal. It's not motzi at all. However you're going to type, could be. I'm not from the big mevinim.
You're saying that someone can still be on the level of a tzaddik according to Tanya, and it's still not. Because someone's angry, he's a rasha. He's angry. He's violating the mitzvah.
Right.
So what is he saying?
Right.
Very nice.
I hear.
So does it mean that it's on a level where he's still considered a beinoni, even maybe a tzaddik, but he's still on some level, even being a tzaddik kapitanya, he's still doing this?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Pashta pshat. That's pashta pshat. That he's a tzaddik. But he's not.
Yeah.
So we're going to say it's not common at all. That means no one's even a beinoni. And the Rebbe says that everybody can be a beinoni.
Yeah. It must be on a higher level. Makes sense. So now the Rebbe Marash says this also answers a stira that it says in one pasuk that every yid is beautiful and there's not even any moon, there's no blemish. And then in another psukim it says, in another Maimon Chazal it says the opposite. So he says the same answer. So he says, Eibazeh, we say in Tehillim, Kapitel Nun Hey, Lo yitin lo olam meit la tzaddik. Hashem will never let a tzaddik slip. Who's that referring to? He says it's referring to every yid. Every yid is called a tzaddik because every yid has a bris. That means on a basic level, we're all a tzaddik. Tzaddik means you do tzedakah. Tzedakah represents all the mitzvahs. Explain tzaddik usually in the Chazal, if you have two people having a din Torah, one is yotza zakai and one is yotza chayiv. So you say he's a tzaddik b'din and he's a rosha b'din. He's chayiv and he's zakai. But when we say over here tzaddikim, we don't refer to zakai b'din. We're not always being judged. It's not only referring to din. It's referring to tzaddik is al shem tzedakah. If you do tzedakah, you're called a tzaddik, and every mitzvah is called tzedakah. The reason why every mitzvah is called tzedakah is because tzedakah means you're giving lahach yisruach shalom. You're giving someone something that he doesn't have. And every mitzvah we do, we're bringing down the Eibusher to this world. So every mitzvah, we're doing tzedakah with the world. Every mitzvah. So akoponim, in a basic level, every yid is called a tzaddik. Every yid has the basic mitzvahs. Let it be just a bris. A bris is a mitzvah you have constantly. You're always accomplishing. Let it just be that. Or it's tzedakah kipshuta. In other places it says, every yid that even prays Yisrael, malei mitzvahs karim, at least we have tzedakah. So if so, when it says in Tehillim, Kapitel Nun Hey, Poda v'sholem nafshi, David HaMelech says, Lo yitim lo eilam meit la tzaddik, is referring to every yid because every yid has a bris. David HaMelech Olav HaSholem was speaking for every yid. So comes the Rebbe Marash and asks a question. The line starts with the word mi Yisrael. Tchukim me'ed beparnasa. Have a very hard time with parnasa. If this that it says, Hashem won't let the tzaddik slip, is going on every yid. So why doesn't every yid have what he needs b'shefa? It's a pasuk in Tehillim that a tzaddik has whatever he needs. Hashem will never let him slip. So how is it that people are having a hard time? And here he asks, especially when it comes to parnasa. Marash answers a meirdik gezach. It's true. It's not that the pshat we're learning wrong pshat in the pasuk. What we're learning pshat in the pasuk is the right pshat. That every yid is called a tzaddik, and every yid Hashem says le'itim le'ilam. Late. So why does a yid have such a hard time in parnasa? Because the bitachin is not the way it's supposed to be. Shariksiv, if you look right at the pasuk before Layitin La'elam Meit Latzadik, the pasuk before is Hashlech al Hashem Yehovcha. Put on Hashem your whole package, throw it on Hashem. Vuhu Yechal Kalecha, and He will feed you. And then it says Layitin La'elam Meit Latzadik. That means when is Layitin La'elam Meit Latzadik? But if a yid is not trusting in Hashem the way it's supposed to be, a yid says, why did he make money? Because he did a lot of business. And he went with tricks to make it happen. A yid says that what caused his parnos. But the truth is not that way. Bitochin means that we're trusting in Hashem, means that we're realizing the truth. So these not good thoughts, they're stopping the shefa parnos. To make the Torah, we're soon going to learn what it means. The Torah should be the set and the malacha should be arei. He would be making a lot more. It would be fulfilled the pasuk Hashech al Hashem Yehovcha automatically. If a yid is Hashech al Hashem Yehovcha, there would automatically be V'hu Yechal Kalecha and Layitin Le'elam Meit Latzadik. And therefore the Rebbe Marash says the best advice. It's very interesting. The advice from between all other advices. L'kol echad ve'echad miYisrael, to every Yid, is liftoyach b'Hashem Yisbarach to have trust in the Eibush. Shu yishlach le'ezrosim mikodesh b'parnosa nitzreches le, that the Eibush will send the parnosa from a holy place and whatever we need. Yisastik v'masa matim b'amuna, and we could do business in a straight way. Lasis mizcher hakorev l'schar. And he explains we have to do business, something that usually will bring schar, will usually bring profit. But we don't have to do many businesses. Because that's already against bitachon. Ki ayad Hashem tikser, is Hashem's hand short to save us with a lot or a little bit? Hashem could save us. But a Yid has to make a keli, and you have to have a lot of kelim. And he brings a meridik pasuk, meshakosov kelim reikim al tamiti. The meridik pasuk. Then when it came that the lady didn't have any food and didn't have any money, and they wanted to go, and she had debt, they wanted to take away her 2 children. So the Navi came and said, what do you have? So she said, a little bit of oil. So what did he tell her? Go borrow all the kelim from your neighbors. Kelim reikim al tamiti. Make sure you don't have few. Make sure you have a lot. And he started pouring, and all of them got filled up with oil. And when there was no more kelim, it stops. So it's a meridik gezach. Here's an often a miracle from the Eibishter, that a little bit of oil became mamish a lot of oil. But even when he made the open miracle, what did he tell her? She has to bring kelim. Even the meridik miracle that comes from Hashem, but you have to do your part. And kelim reikim al tamiti. Not only she had to bring 1 keli. I made a keli, yitzig event. No, according to how many kelim she made, that's how much the miracle was. So he's saying the truth is, everything we do is really a miracle from Hashem. The parnosa we're having is a miracle from the Eibush. It comes from Hashem. But Hashem wants us to make kelim, and not to make a little bit of kelim, to make a lot of kelim. So we have to make kelim. But nevertheless, we shouldn't forget the main thing. The main thing is to remember that it's only a keli, and the bracha comes from the Eibush. So we shouldn't do things that look like we trust in them and not in Hashem. So by doing a lot of different types of businesses or making ourselves crazy, that's already showing that it's not from the Eibishter. Because to make a keli, you could do something that makes sense, that makes money, and you do a lot of it. You don't have to go and try making yourself meshugah. Better trust in Hashem than to trust in the person. And it explains in even on Adam Ha'elyin, Ayin B'Kudei Torah, Pasuk Zeh, Shachisoyim B'Havaya Toiv Ma B'Tochim B'Adam Ha'elyin. There's the level called Havaya, the way the Eibishter is higher than nature, and Adam is the way the Eibishter is in nature. And it's better that a Yid should connect and trust in Hashem the way Hashem is above nature. So if a Yid is doing his business, knowing that the bracha comes from the Eibishter that's above nature, and I'm just making a keli, but really b'tochen means I know that it's coming from the Eibishter. So then the ikr business sarich lis l'shem shamayim is supposed to be l'shem shamayim. Now he explains what l'shem shamayim means. Taisha is very clearly what l'shem shamayim is. Lahargelos atzmei sheyasa esik v'chavim b'chtei sheyistaker v'yuchal litin stokim mashir avich. A Yid accustoms himself that he does business with the intentions that when I make money, I'll be able to give tzedakah. And even for a Yid who's making money from his work of his hands, he's not making a lot of money. But I'll be able to feed my family. That's also l'shem shamayim. In order that my family should be able to serve Hashem. Because with the food that they eat, from the money that I make, they'll be able to daven and learn. You'll be able to give your children proper teachers. You'll be able to buy tefillin, you'll be able to buy a sukkah, you'll be able to buy a lulav. So l'shem shamayim means that my business will lead up to a certain mitzvah. Either the mitzvah of tzedakah or feeding my own family is also tzedakah. And giving them the capability of doing mitzvahs. And with this he explains, that's the Taish, Teirosam Kevo Malachtan Arai. Torah should be set, firm, and the Malacha, our work, should be temporary. So he explains, it doesn't mean Keva and Arai in time-wise. It doesn't mean that a person has to learn more than he does business. Because sometimes a person has to do more business than learn, if that's what's needed. So he says, even if a Yid is doing business the whole day, and he has set times, one perek that he learns in the morning and one perek that he learns at night. Nevertheless, it could be that his Torah is keva and his malach is aray. How is it? So he explains that what is the goal? What's the main intention of his whole business? Is to lead up to this. The question is, what's the tafel and what's the ikr? What's the means and what's the end? So if the means is his whole business is just to lead up, then now he's going to be able to sit and learn Torah. Now he's going to be able to do a mitzvah. So his business is the aray, is the temporary, because it's just a lead up to the main thing. It's like sometimes you've had by a person making a simcha, making a chasana, or a simcha. You could be working for weeks and weeks and weeks. But what's the whole point of everything? The whole point of everything is that the one time, with those few hours, that there's going to be the simcha. So everything else was aray, everything else was a tofel, was secondary. And the main thing is in time-wise, he spent much more time in the preparations. True, but the main thing is, the goal is the simcha. So too, we say that the whole work that he does should be just a temporary, should just be to lead up to the Teiros and Keva, to finally be able to have a chance to do a mitzvah, to learn Torah, to serve Hashem. But this, the Reb Marash teaches, what we say in the second parsha of Krishma, we say, if a Yid listens to the Eibishter, so then the schar will be that I'll give you grass for your animals. You're going to gather your grain and your wine and everything you need. So he asks, if it just means physically that we're going to have all the physical things, is this what we're telling a Yid? That if you serve the Eibishter and you do the mitzvahs, you're going to have food? That's what the Eibishter tells a Yid. The Rebbe Marash feels it's not fit for a Yid to tell him, your schar is going to be, you're going to have food. A Yid wants more than that. Ruchnius. So he explains that's Taka V'asafta Digonecham. V'asafta Digonecham means you gather together the whole Gashmias. What does it mean? Gashmias is really separate things. To gather together means a Yid brings the Eibishter into the whole Gashmias. And that's what we're telling a Yid. We're telling a Yid that if a Yid does the mitzvahs, so then all the Dvarim Gashmim also get elevated. Because then, when he does Gashmis, it's also with the intention to be able to do mitzvahs. And that's what we're saying. We're saying the meridik schar of a Yid is that v'asafta digonecha, the whole Gashmis will be elevated. And through that, he explains it gets elevated, side because it leads up to a mitzvah, and side in the Gashmis itself, we make a bracha before, we make a bracha after when we eat, for example. So then we bring the Eibishter down into the Gashmis, and when we bring the Eibishter down into the Gashmis, he says that's the whole reason the Neshama came down to this world. So we're going to read the last few lines. This is the whole reason why the Neshama came down into our body, to bring the Eibishter down to this world. The Eibishter wants a dwelling place down here. The Eibishter wants in this physical low world, Hashem should be brought down. So we tell the Yid, if a Yid does mitzvahs, you know what the meridik schar is. We're going to elevate the Gashmias. And that's the whole reason we came down to this world. And we're telling the Yid, not only when we do the mitzvah gets elevated, but everything we do to lead up to the mitzvah will also get elevated. He gives an example from the Rambam, that even if a Yid is relaxing, but if a Yid is relaxing, so he should be healthy, and then he should be able to serve Hashem, so the relaxation is also l'shem shamayim, that also becomes elevated. And he finishes off, this is the Taj, Mika Amcho Yisrael Goy Echad Ba'aretz. We say what the Yidden are so great that they're Goy Echad Ba'aretz, they're one nation in the world. What's so special that you're one nation in the world? So Goy Echad Ba'aretz means Oretz is the world that's separate. And in the world, we're such a nation, Echad Ba'aretz, we bring down the Eibishter, Hashem Echad, in Eretz HaGashmi. And that's the whole goal. The whole goal when the Neshama comes down to this world is to bring the Eibishter down. So it's a meridik and
What does to do with the three previous levels of tzaddikim?
Because the Maimer is leading up to tell you that every Yid is called a tzaddik. If every Yid is called a tzaddik, the question is, if so, why does a Yid have a trouble with parnos? Every Yid is a tzaddik. The Eibishter guarantees le'itin le'ilom me'la tzaddik. Every Yid should have what he needs. And the Rebbe Marash answers that the emes, every Yid is supposed to have what he needs. It's just we put a blockage. When we don't have a toch in Hashem, so that blocks the brachas of the Eibishter. This is the Rebbe Marash says. Because we have a bris. Just having a bris is enough. It's enough to have all the brachas. Huh?
Tzadik she'eni gomer.
It's a certain level of a tzaddik.
Ribono.
It's not. There's different level. The different.
Chaser munach. Yeah, tzadik.
Yeah, we're a tzaddik, but we have a blockage by not having betochen. So we have to have betochen. Realize everything comes from the Eibishter. It says if we have betochen, automatically when we do the business is going to be done differently. We're not going to try to make ourselves crazy. We realize it comes from the Eibishter, so we'll stick to one thing. If we,
If I remember right, if you want to go learning about Parnosa,
yeah,
you brought up some minor, for one Belvain. But Abish like Chidush, new things.
yeah,
Always need to invest in new things.
yeah.
To bring up some Chidush, can make new, so make a keli for the Parnosa. Remember that? We learn this few months.
You remember better than me.
You
Remember
need to open new things.
yes, he's saying to open new vessels. Yeah.
New vessels.
Okay. Okay, whatever works.
Okay.